Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Reed, and I am the VP PR of the Y Club Toastmasters. Today, I am going to be interviewing Pierre Casongo, a member of the Y Club Toastmasters. And Pierre is going to share with us the inspiration and the value that the Y Club has brought to his life. Pierre, welcome.
Thank you, Karen.
Pierre, why don't you start off by telling us, how did you find your way to the Y Club Toastmasters?
Well, I found my way through my father. He used to be a member of the Toastmaster. And then I was recruited by, or actually rather invited by another member of the Toastmasters, by Mark, actually. And then I joined in. Well, first started off as a guest, came in for a few months, and I eventually became a member.
Oh, that sounds like a really smooth way of joining. Tell me though, what was your first impression?
I had no idea what was going on.
That is very similar to my first experience. At what point did you start to feel comfortable?
About 4 or 5 months in.
And at what point did you give your first icebreaker speech?
Well, I actually gave my first icebreaker about 6 or 7 months after the first time that I attended my first meeting.
And what was that like for you?
I was nervous. I was. I remember at one point I actually forgot my just a part of my speech in my head, but it somehow I was just telling myself, just keep smiling and no one will notice, even though uh, even though like the face was just a big smile in the head, and I was telling myself, go, oh God, the teleprompter is off, but I forgot my speech. Just keep going, keep going, keep going.
How did you recover?
It was 2, 1, just uh
Just keep smiling. It reminds me of that fish Nemo. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
yeah.
Sure.
Just
How did your fellow Toastmasters support you?
everyone in that group is a really good mentor. I, whenever I no, whenever I do a speech, the feedback they they have for me is just making me a, a better public speaker, and the they just help me to become better, and it helps me to become uh, to to grow. I have a lot of uh, goals that I want to reach, and they say things to support me, to help me grow. And that's the culture and environment that they have and they project.
Hmm. I've heard that Toastmasters Club use a sandwich philosophy when they give their members feedbacks. And what that is they say, you did really great, and they add in perhaps you could do better, and then they close it off with a this was really done well. Would you say, is that how you received the feedback and the evaluations?
Absolutely. I've had, that's actually exactly how each of my uh, speech evaluations and feedback have been in each time that I do a presentation.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, what is some of the feedback you've received that has made you a more successful public speaker?
Um, well, there was one time during a presentation that was I was doing I was talking about a certain about making a comeback, and I used a celebrity as an example of someone who went through some tough times and then it's made somewhat of a comeback. What back, what they enjoyed, what the good feedback was that I used like a really good used PowerPoint, and also at one point um, I even leaned into the camera to say, now for those who think I really had, who think that number is really wide, I know how you feel. So therefore, they like how I use the camera, as if I was whispering to them. A point of improvement was that I needed to kind of point out to use in PowerPoint my to point out where I used my resources, and
Mm,
I because yeah, I didn't point out now like where I was using where I like where I cited my resources. So in the future, I should do.
right.
In another presentation, I didn't have. I was talking about how to be yourself and how to be authentic, and there was that. Now, what they liked is the person liked was that I was able to was that I actually was using like a different voice to present no to show go to start off talking weird, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wait, he's not talking like that, and then to give the idea, oh wait, that was the part of the speech. However, one mistake that I had made was that the angle of the camera on my laptop was off, and the speech was a little bit long, and I, in the week after, I actually edited the speech so that it would be shorter. I adjusted the angle of my camera, and it was actually better, and it was also shorter. So I actually, and the second person that 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 gave me the evaluation even said that it looked like I basically reviewed like everything that was said to me before and said I verbatim said, well, it looks like you actually did exactly what we told you to do before, and you need, yeah, well done.
Wonderful.
You follow the instructions.
So do you think you could give us an example of your vocal variety and speaking in different tones and emotions?
Okay. Um.
Okay.
Well. Okay. In oh boy. In the in the speech, the speech was called "Say It Your Own Way," and I started off uh, like this. Uh, Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and fellow members. Many of you are trying to say your own way and trying to master the art of talking in a normal voice, and you may not be trying to find the normal way. It is important that in a speech you find your own way of saying a, a speech that says you are you. Well, if you've been listening to that sentence, some of you are wondering, this is not the way that Pierre talks. Guess what? No offense, you're right. It's not the way I talk. Okay? But, however, today, what's important is that you be yourself and you be authentic when you deliver a speech. And it is also important that the delivery that you have matches your speech. Otherwise, if it doesn't match the theme, it can be very confusing.
I can totally see the difference now. Thanks for sharing that. You know, the other thing I'm noticing is that you are making very exact hand gestures. Your hands aren't just flying around the screen, they have a purpose. Did you also learn that as a Toastmasters
I did,
member?
especially since we're on screen and I've learned that during the especially since the pandemic is hit us. Because we are on Zoom, a lot of the hand gesture is pretty significant. You know, like we're all used to talking on hands, talking. Oh, and sorry, going New York all of a sudden. The point is, because we are on screen on Zoom, we are often pretty used to being like this. So we have to uh, have to learn how to use gesture with our hands, and also learn that for me, it's a bit of a little trick for me to help flow my sentences because I have a bit of a stutter, and it helps somehow with the flow of my sentences. You know, because if somehow I found that this motion helps with a continuous flow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's really helpful.
yeah. It's like
Usually it's
yeah,
like
it's like
too much words.
yeah, yeah. Talk to the hands. It's like
Talk to the hand.
yeah, it's like somehow the just having this circular motion can bring out the next word and it's got this, it can bring out the next word rather than have it stuck in my head.
Perfect. That's really helpful. That's been really helpful. So Pierre, as we wrap up this interview, I'm going to leave it open to you. What else would you like to share about Toastmasters? How has it made a positive impact on your life?
It boosted my self-confidence. At the time when I was in, when I joined in, I I had self-confidence issues. I was, I personally was dealing with some with a low self-esteem at the time. I wanted to feel like a a leader again, and I actually got to do that because I was given roles that I did not think I could do. I I even got to lead meetings that I that some meetings that were actually pretty successful. You know, getting to choose topics and things that were actually pretty fun. I certainly hope that some of them or most of them were enjoyable. And as I said earlier, I do have a stutter. I hope that with joining Toastmasters, it somewhat helped with my speech impediment and in being a more effective communicator. Toastmasters has helped me to do so.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Leave me with 3 words that if somebody asked you, why should you join the Y Club Toastmasters? Give me 3 words that tells me why I should join the Y Club Toastmasters.
Support, guidance, leadership.
Thank you, Pierre. Thanks for joining us today. High five me.